Beneath the cold ruins of an ancient monastery in the Scottish Highlands, the wind whispered through forgotten corridors. A historian named Eleanor Gray moved through the darkness with a trembling lantern. Her light touched old stones carved with strange markings, symbols that seemed to twist and move when the flame flickered. The villagers had warned her, some doors must never be opened, but curiosity is a louder voice than fear. She found a sealed iron door buried under dust and time. When her fingers brushed across its surface, the symbols pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat. The lock gave way with a sound that echoed like a scream. Inside lay an underground archive, a room filled with scrolls, bound in skin and sealed with black wax. The air smelled of ash and ink. She unrolled one of the scrolls, expecting Latin, but the words shifted before her eyes. And there, written in ink that shimmered like blood, was a sentence that froze her breath. History remembers only what we allow it to. That night, as she studied the scrolls, her lantern began to dim. The shadows around her lengthened. But these shadows did not follow her movements. They acted on their own. On the walls, shapes formed, soldiers fighting, kings bleeding, and cities burning. She realized they were not shadows. They were memories, alive and restless, trapped within the stones of the monastery. Then came the voices, whispers at first, then clearer, confessions of long-dead rulers, screams of silenced witnesses, prayers of those erased from the chronicles of man. Every lie ever written into history echoed in that room. The walls seemed to breathe, the floor to shift, as if the monastery itself remembered. At the heart of the chamber stood an old clock. No hands, no numbers, yet it ticked, slow and heavy. Drawn to it, Eleanor placed her palm against its glass. Her reflection disappeared. She felt herself falling, through smoke, through centuries, until she landed on burning ground. The monastery stood above her, alive and whole, centuries before its ruin. Monks hurried through firelight, their faces hidden beneath hoods. One looked at her and whispered, "You have returned, keeper of shadows." The words struck like lightning. She remembered. She had been here before, a guardian of forbidden knowledge. The order she once belonged to had one sacred duty: erase the dangerous parts of human history. Curses, wars, inventions too powerful to exist. But every erased memory demanded a life in exchange. Eleanor had chosen to forget, to live again in ignorance. And now, the shadows had come to collect what was owed. In a great hall, monks sat around the same table where history was rewritten. Glowing ink moved across parchment by invisible hands. Every word they changed reshaped reality. Empires rose, names vanished, centuries rewrote themselves like dreams. The more they wrote, the more the world outside began to fade. Eleanor stood before them, trembling. The clock began to toll without hands. Its sound shook the air, calling for an ending. The shadows surrounded her, waiting. She knew the truth. If she destroyed the archive, time itself might unravel. But if she sealed it again, the lies would live forever. Her candle burned low. She whispered to herself, "Let the lies burn." With that, she dropped the flame onto the parchment. The room exploded into fire. Scrolls turned to smoke, the monks to ash. The walls collapsed, and the ticking stopped. When the flames died, there was nothing left, no archive, no clock, no Eleanor Gray. Centuries later, in a quiet museum, a visitor paused before a glass case. Inside lay a single page of scorched parchment. The words on it read, "History is not what happened, it's what survived." And as the visitor turned away, the glass behind her reflected a faint, moving shadow, watching, waiting, remembering.